right, Shalom. For the brothers of Great Millstone, the branch out of Des Moines. First and foremost, we'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Chakadash.
double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, salutations to all you brothers who are preaching the gospel and truth and sincerity, always in charity. And you can see the title of the lesson is entitled Spirit Like the Wind, which means another week out in the highways and hedges to Wadi Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, for continually giving us of his Holy Spirit to go prophesy the downfall of this present evil world, giving us the zeal, the will, the passion to go out week in and week out and to hazard our lives, man, as it says in the book of Corinthians, man. You know, I think it's Acts if I'm not mistaken, but don't quote me on that. But this Spirit Like the Wind, you know, is pretty much going to be inspired through the Holy Spirit about what the brothers in Dallas were going in on, man. And Elder Ariala and the Elder Yashawambe, it was Ariala specifically that made a statement, you know, about our words, man. And these words are powerful, you know, and that's why we should be mindful of the things that we allow to come out of our mouths. Because as it is written in the book of Proverbs, the brother can find that, that'll be the starting precept. It says that
power in the tongue.
power in the, that's right, bro. That's right. We can start with that precept and then, you know, let the Spirit do what it do.
This is Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof.
That shows you how heavy words are, man. You know, it says death and life is in the power of the tongue, right? Because it tells us in Sirach, the 15th chapter. If a brother can grab that, Sirach 15, and grab verse, what is that? Sirach 15 and verse, start at 17.
Sirach 15. This is Sirach chapter 15 and 17. Before man is life and death, and whither him liketh shall be given him.
So whichever, if you like life, life is gonna be given unto you. If you like death, death is gonna be given unto you, man. And what? Going back to that Proverbs, it all starts with our tongue. You see? Because the tongue is a gift, it's something that's powerful that the Lord has given us. Let's get Sirach 17. Just jump over a few chapters, bro.
This is Sirach 17.
Start at 1.
This is Sirach 17 and 1. Yahweh created man of the earth and turned him into it again. He gave them few days and a short time, and power also over the things therein. He endued them with strength by themselves and made them according to his image.
Meaning according to the order that was established, right? Go ahead.
And put the fear of man upon all flesh, and gave him dominion over beasts and fowl.
This is the point. Go ahead.
They received the use of the 5 operations of Yahweh.
Which regular animals have those 5 senses, man. You know, you hit a dog, what happened? That means because he felt that. You know, you cooking something, they get to sniffing in the air. He can smell that. He can hear. You know, you call him, you whistle, he hear you.
You see, you come with that belt.
Yeah. He said so. So they got the 5 senses, man.
Right.
Which is touch, see, smell, taste, and hear. Right. But go ahead.
And in the 6th place, he imparted them understanding.
So it's an extra that us as humans have, man. Right? Go ahead.
And in the 7th, speech, an interpreter of the cogitations thereof.
Right, so in the 6th, he imparted us understanding. And in the 7th, speech, it says what? An interpreter of the cogitations thereof, man. Now, when you go into that word cogitation, it goes into our thoughts. So our speech is an interpreter of what? Of our thoughts. What precept is lining up in brother's mind? It should be in the book of Mark. I believe it's Mark. I know it's in the Gospels. I believe it is specifically Mark. But Yahweh Shah said what? Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh, man. You see? So that's why it's imperative. It's important for us to speak life. Because that's what's going to be given unto us, man. You see? And it's been a wonderful gift that the Lord has given us, the word of truth. The same word that the Lord spoke into existence is the same word that's in our mouths. Right? Because there's a precept, if a brother can search that up, it says, how is it worded? I know it says through wisdom he created everything, but there's one where it says that he created it through the word. Man, I can't even say how it goes along the lines of it. You know,
Second 16 to 55. You want me to read it for you?
you can read it.
Come on, this second Ezra chapter 16 and verse 55. It say, which spake, but the word, let the earth be made, and it was made.
Perfect. So the Most High spake, and the Lord was made. Now we know that process. How the Most High created Yahweh Shai, which Yahweh Shai is what? He is the word that created everything, right? And that same word that the Most High spake, being our Lord Yahweh Shai, is the same spirit that dwells within us. Because we are speaking this word. So this word, which is the word of creation, is what the Lord have put into us to allow us to speak it properly, man. That's something powerful of itself right there. So I know brothers can have, their own testimonies or different examples of how we would think of certain things and it would happen. How we would speak certain things and it would happen. Why is that? Because our speech is powerful and we have the word of eternal life within our speech, man, which comes within our minds. The speech is, once again, is an interpreter of the connotations thereof. You know? So Tawadi Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shah, that he filled us with the spirit of life, first off in our minds, so that we're able to speak these things into existence, man. Because with us being able to speak this word, it should come with a level of discipline that allows us to bridle our thoughts and things that come into our minds, man. We and whatever precepts y'all brothers got, you know what I'm saying?
You can finish it out.
You can let it ride, yeah. You can finish it out.
Come, verse 50. It says, verse 55. It said, which spake, but the word, let the earth be made, and it was made. Let the heaven be made, and it was created.
That's it. Because it tells us here in the book of Sirach, the 28th chapter. I'll start up at verse 10. Nope. Verse 12. This is Sirach 28 and 12. It says, if thou blow the spark, it shall burn. If thou spit upon it, it shall be quenched. And both these come out of thy mouth, man. Right? So a spark of flame is what? A contention or something as a certain situation. If you blow on that spark, what'll happen? It'll feed that fire, which caused that fire to go higher. But if thou spit on it, what'll happen? It'll put that fire out. And it says what? Both these come out of the mouth. So once again, it's showing you the power that we have with what? With our words, man. It might be a certain situation that's escalating. If a brother doesn't know exactly what that's at in Proverbs, it says a soft answer turneth away wrath. What is wrath? A wrath is that fire that's being kindled, man. But that soft answer is you spitting on that fire and you putting it out. So once again, this is an example of what the power that we have with our tongue. Being able to escape or to get out certain afflictions and situations that Jake see that's arising, or certain words or saying certain things, can have a bad result, later on. Like, damn, I was talking too much, man. That's why in the Sirach it speaks about do no secret thing in front of a stranger, because you know not what he will bring forth. So even being able to bridle your tongue amongst other people, man, that'll save you a lot of trouble, going forward. And it all starts with what? With the tongue. Let's hold James the 3rd chapter on deck as well. But if a brother got that Proverbs, that's off the answer, turn away wrath. Nobody pulled that up.
I got something else in the meantime.
Yeah, go ahead.
This Sirach chapter 22 and verse 27. It says, who shall set a watch before my mouth and a seal of wisdom upon my lips?
Is that's Sirach 23?
22 and 27.
Oh, okay, yeah, it goes into the 20. Okay,
Sirach 22 and 27. Who shall set a watch before my mouth and a seal of wisdom upon my lips, that I fall not suddenly by them, and that my tongue destroy me not. Let's show you the words that you speak can destroy you, man. But not only can it destroy you, but it can also bring life to you, man. Okay, what you put out is what's gonna come back to you. All right. So going into the 23rd chapter, Sirach 23:1, O Lord, Father and Governor of all my whole life, lead me not to their counsels, and let me not fall by them. Who will set scourges over my thoughts, and the discipline of wisdom over mine heart?
Right, so he's acknowledging that what? Before I can set a bar on my mouth, it starts in my mind. Brandon, you read that 22 in the last verse. There's another one in Psalms where it says the same thing you read. If you can keep reading, I'll find it.
It says, who will set scourges over my thoughts? The brother quoted earlier, out of an abundance of the heart, the mouth speak.
A brother can find that and pull that up as well.
Right, because before we speak, it has to be in our thoughts. It says in the book of Sirach, a wise man's mouth is in his heart. A foolish man's heart is in his mouth, meaning before he even thinks, he speaks. Right? But a wise man, he thinks before he speaks. His mouth is in his heart before he speaks. He meditates on the things, and that's wisdom. Right? Who will set scourges of wisdom over my thoughts? In the 22nd chapter, it said, who will set a watch over my mouth? A seal upon my lips. It all starts in our mind. That's where the battle is at, man. Okay? It says...
I got the precept real quick that you quoted. Just jumping back a couple chapters from where you are. This is Sirach 21 and 26. The heart of fools is in their mouths. Meaning, whatever comes to their mind, they speak on it, man. And that ought not to be amongst us. Going back to Sirach 28, Lord's will, we go back to it. It's going to speak about how the tongue shall not have rule over them that fear the Lord, man. Right? Because the Lord said, every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account of. Why? Because it comes from the heart. It shows who you truly are. Going back into what? That 7 sense that was given us, speech, which is what? An interpretation of the cogitations thereof. Meaning your speech reveals your spirit.
Yeah.
Your speech reveals who you truly are, man. And if we're truly are sons of God, right? If we're truly are, those many Yahawashi that we're striving to be, then what? Then we should walk in it. We should show forth that discipline, that patience, those different characteristics that we read within the scriptures, right? Because if we're practicing those things, if they're stored up in our spirit and our mind, then we're practicing those things in our everyday life,
It says, Sirach chapter 23 and verse 2, who will set scourge?
I'm sorry, brother, I didn't even finish, bro. I'm sorry. Back in Sirach 21 and 26, the heart of fools is in their mouth, but the mouth of the wise is in their heart, meaning they think before they speak. I believe that's Proverbs 15 and 29. Brothers, we use it to speak about, we study it to give a proper answer to the people that come up and ask us questions. But when you read that in another translation, it literally says, the righteous man meditated before he speaks. I'm roughly paraphrasing, the other translation.
I got you. This is Proverbs 15 and 28. It says, and this is the same chapter, the soft answer, so I read that. It says, Proverbs 15 and 28, the heart of the righteous studieth to answer. And like the brother was going into now, the Hebrew word for that word studieth is hagah, all right, which is where you get the word meditate from. All right, in Psalms 19, where King David said, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of thy heart, that word meditation in that scripture is hagayawan. All right, so it's the same, it's a form of that word hagah, so it's going into what? Meditate. But the heart of the righteous studieth to answer, but the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil things. So that's letting you know that the righteous is going to consider what he's saying before he's saying it, man. All right, it's another one, I don't know if we read that one yet, where it says, weigh thy words in the balance. So you're weighing, okay, wait, making sure that your words are seasoned with salt, with wisdom, considering the things that's coming out of your mouth, all that is being taken thought of.
Yeah, well, even going back to what you quoted, that's Psalms 19.
Yeah.
Let the meditation of my heart. It says let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be accepted in thy sight. Well, first off, you gotta know
Right.
what's acceptable to the Lord.
That's right.
So therefore, you know what's acceptable. Now what? Those thoughts and those words are bridled. You know? Now you're disciplined in your thoughts. Nope, that ain't the proper thought. Rebuke that.
Yeah.
You know? Oh damn, I said no, I shouldn't have said that. You know? Let me correct that. Right? Well, go ahead.
It says, I'm gonna read it one more time. Psalms 15 and 28. The heart of the righteous studieth to answer, but the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil things. And then since it's the same chapter, Proverbs 15 and 1, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger.
Well, if you got it, I don't know if you got the blue letter like brothers got.
Oh, it's like a parallel
Yeah.
to read the other
Yeah,
translation.
just read another translation.
Kind. So back in that was Proverbs 15
And 28.
and 28, the water. All right, so this is the CSB. It says, the mind of the righteous person thinks before answering, but the mouth of wicked blurts out evil things.
And that's the precept to Sirach 21 that we just read, man. You know? You see? So that goes back into the wise. What? His mouth is in his heart.
Man,
He thinks whether that's something proper or fitting to say, man.
that's right.
You know?
I'm going to read it in the NLT. It says, the heart of the godly thinks carefully before speaking. The mouth of the wicked overflows with evil words. The NIV. The heart of the righteous weighs its answers, but the mouth of the wicked gushes evil. Right? So it's just pouring out, saying all types of stuff, man. You know? Not considering it, man. Hey, because like the brother had mentioned, man, for every idle word, the man give account of. So, and like even going back to the lesson that the big bro was speaking about, he even mentioned that, man. He even Elder Yashawamba had mentioned that us knowing that we're Israelites, all right, and knowing all right who we are, knowing the power of this word, man, we're held more accountable to these words, man. So that's something to keep in mind. But you was gonna say something now?
Yeah, because I actually have that on deck, you know, because I was thinking about the prologue when it said sought out fit words, or I think it was I don't know if it was the prologue of Sirach or it's the beginning of Maccabees, but it's one of those prologues, and it basically said that the writer sought out fit words, you know. So anybody can correct me, you know, on the comment board if they know where that's at. But this is Matthew's 12 and
I was gonna get that in the Luke 16 and the Luke 6, because you know what it says. Go ahead and read it. I was gonna get that one in Luke as well.
okay, you can get it right after this. This is Matthew's 12 and 36. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. So yeah, we really got to be careful of what comes, because of what the scripture says. This is not what goes into a man that defiles him, but it's what cometh out of a man.
Well, it should be that mark. That's that mark.
Yeah, because I thought you were gonna get the other one that says, "Oh, vipers, generation of vipers."
That's it. That's it.
But I was gonna get the Luke one because this one explains it a little bit more. Because the brother's going into basically like whatever you think and you speak, that that's you're revealing yourself. You know, it says Luke 6 and 45. It says a good man.
You can start at verse 43, Bible Kashah.
Which one?
6 and 43, Bible Kashah.
Okay,
That's up to verses.
6 and 43. It's just lagging a little bit. It says Luke 6 and 43. It says, "For a good tree bringeth not forth corrupt fruit, neither doeth a corrupt tree bringeth forth good fruit." It says, "For every tree is known by his own fruit. For of thorns men do not gather figs, nor a blamber bush gather bramble bush gather they grapes."
Right, and then the scriptures talk about the fruit of thy lips, you know. So like going back into what the brother was mentioning in the book of Mark, where it goes into, I think it's the same chapter where it says, "Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also." You know, it goes into that, man. Here it is. A person that's wicked is gonna pour out wickedness. That's just what it is, man. You're gonna be able to judge that tree by its fruit. You can tell a man by what he's speaking and by what he's saying, man. All right. The scriptures talk about how man, what is it? In the book of Sirach, it talks about how their sport is in the wantonness of sin. Right? So you hear Jake on the job and everything like that. What are they talking about?
Some bullshit.
They
adultery.
take pleasure in what? In speaking about wickedness, adultery, different conversations like that. You could tell clearly, oh, nah, these niggas is wicked. You could tell just by the conversation. You know, so we want to make sure that our conversation is upright, that is godly, holy, separate, you know?
Kind of says Luke 6:45. It says, a good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is good. And an evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is evil. For of the abundance of the heart his mouth speaketh. You know, so whatever that dude is, you know, into, if it, you know, into stuff into life, he's gonna speak life. But if he's into, you know, just death shit, he's gonna promote that, man. You know.
Hey, that's why a lot of these rappers, all right, before they die, they already prophesying it. They speaking so much death that has to come back into you, man. You pushing out that vibration in the earth, it's gonna return right back on your head, man. I'm a killer nigga, I'm ready to die, and this and that and the third, and then it happens. Because you spoke all of that, man. Because there's power in your tongue, man. How many rappers have prophesied their own death? Biggie, Tupac.
Snitched on themselves in
Right.
the song.
You know, speaking death, man, until those words go up, and then that death angel eventually comes for him, man.
Right.
I got something. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 20 and verse 7. A wise man will hold his tongue till he see opportunity, but a babbler and a fool will regard no time. So, like the Apostle Gabar always says, well, he said it before, how speaking is an art. All right, it's a skill. Knowing when to speak, knowing when not to speak, knowing what to say, knowing what not to say, speaking things in the right season. Okay, go ahead. You get that.
Yeah. This is Sirach chapter 20 and 19. An unseasonable tale will always be in the mouth of the unwise. A wise sentence shall be rejected when it cometh out of a fool's mouth, for he will not speak it in due season. So going into what, man? A time and season, man. You know, knowing when to say certain things, when not. Now I'm gonna hold back on that right now. You know. Now this is the opportunity for me to speak on that matter and so on and so forth. Once again, that's a skill that happens with what exercising that, man.
Mm-hmm.
And even it's even written, man. It says, "Who is he that have not offended with the tongue?"
Yep.
So these are mistakes that we make at times, where it's like, you know what? Nah, that wasn't the right time to say that. You know, and so on and so forth. But it comes through experience, man. It's a skill. like
Trial
you
and
said.
error.
Yeah, it says a wise man knoweth when he slippeth, man.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you could say, you know, the scriptures talk about when you go into First Ezra when he was going into how wine is wicked, how you know how men could get drunk and then they ended up drawing swords, and after that they reconciled, and that happens a lot, man. You can get drunk and say things that ought not to be said, and then you know next day you're apologizing for it because you know what you said wasn't right. You know what I mean? But hey, but that goes into knowing when you're slipping, man. And like the brother said, who is he that have not slipped with the tongue? You know, it's a very slippery slope when you're dealing with that. You know what I mean?
Oh, did you start at 19? You start at 18 on that?
Okay.
20 and 18?
Yeah, that's all. No, go ahead.
This is Sirach 20 and 18. It says, to slip upon a pavement is better than to slip with the tongue, so the fall of the wicked shall come speedily.
So that shows you, hey, it's better you bunch your ass on the concrete than to slip with your tongue. So that shows you how much more cognitive, especially us, we're doing this lesson now. We have to be more cognitive before we speak. We gotta think harder about before we say. It's like chess. Before you make a move, look, in chess you can't take that move back. You can't take that. You touch that piece, you gotta move that piece. You can't take it back, and you're gonna have to deal with the consequences after that. It's the same thing with speaking. Once you speak that word, it's out there. You can't put that words back into your mouth. You can't that Men in Black and make everybody forget what you just said. It's already out there. Now you have to deal with the consequences, man.
Right.
So we got to make sure that when we speak, I'm talking about myself first and foremost. We got to make sure that when we speak, it's with the point. right? It's for a reason, and it's in the right season because what you just read in the next verse. Could you read the next verse for me?
Yeah,
Well,
verse
just real
19.
quick, just going into the balance, because it says it's better to slip upon the pavement than to slip with your speech. Well, that goes into the precept Jake read earlier about how a babbler just blurts things out. Why? Because that's who he is. Now, the balance to that is another precept in Sirach where it says what?
Slip in the heart,
That
slip in
man
his tongue,
slipped in his speech, but
but
not
in
his
the
heart.
Yep, kind of.
You see? Why? Because that didn't come from the heart. That was just a slip up in the speech.
Mm-hmm.
But that right there going into what? A guy slipping in his speech because that's who he is in his heart, man. He's just letting it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Just being mindful of these different, you know what I'm saying, situations we find ourselves in, man. Because what we speaking about is something that's relatable to each and every last one of us. And that we all have to be mindful about, man.
We can all work on this.
You know?
Hey,
Whether it's you talking to brothers, whether it's you talking to your parents, whether it's you talking to your woman, whether you talking to somebody at the store, whether you at work. I mean, this is something that can be practiced in all aspects of our lives, man. Because if it ain't no way in hell you just practicing it with the brothers, but then blurting it out with everybody else. It's gonna happen with the brothers then.
Right. If you
You
practice
see?
that every day.
But if you practicing every
Every
day in every aspect of your life, now you're cognizant of these things in all aspects.
It'd be like, oh,
So
yeah.
now it becomes easier with the brothers. See, that's the difference, man. You got guys that are only do things around brothers, but when they're around everybody else, they some hoe ass niggas. But then they slip up when they get around brothers because it's hard to keep up that act.
Yeah, right.
But if you like that around the brothers that you is by yourself, then you just being you now, man.
That's it.
You know? That's why guys get exposed through the spirit. You know? But go ahead, Al.
Okay. I'm gonna read 18 through again. It says, "To slip upon a pavement is better than to slip with the tongue. So the fall of the wicked shall come speedily. An unseasonable tale will always be in the mouth of the unwise."
Right, that's talking about an unseasonable tale. Now this is Proverbs 15 and 23. A man to have joy by the answer of his mouth. It's like a man have joy by the answer of his mouth, and a word spoken in due season. How good is it? So that just shows you, speaking things in out of season, how fucked up that is, right? How it's foolish, but speaking things in season. So seeing both sides of it, man. All right, knowing when to speak and knowing when not to speak. That's it on that, though.
Well, hey, just to back you up, because if I'm not mistaken, the Apostle Gabar, he says both, right? He says that speaking is an art, but listening is an art.
Yeah,
You know, there's a saying in the world, I remember when we were shorties and shit, parents would tell you all the time, hey, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, So we ought to be listening twice as much as we are speaking,
I got something for you.
Go ahead.
This is Proverbs chapter 25 and 11. It says, "A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in pictures of silver. As an earring of gold and an ornament of fine gold, so is a wise reprover upon an obedient ear." So that's just going into both aspects of speaking and listening. Okay? Like the brother said, that's a conversation. A conversation is hearing and speaking. Knowing when to talk and knowing when not to talk.
Yeah. Hey, because the brother you called, he said it made me think right now how he was at work and he was speaking to somebody and the brother would take a while to respond, right? And it was kind of like the person felt uneasy or it was irritating them. Like, man, why aren't you answering right away? And we can't get accustomed to being like that because within the society, everything is like this, man. Everything's all fast paced. You're moving in haste. You're doing this and that. But with our words and with most specifically with this word, we have to think before every single action before we speak.
Yeah, nah, one of the chicks I was working with, she was blue. She was like, "Man, do you think about everything before you say something?" I'm like, "Yeah, I actually try to. I try to consider what I'm saying before I speak, so I like to take my time." But it was like irritating, like, and it made him uncomfortable, you know what I'm saying? But that's a part of us becoming a new creature, like, let me take my time and consider what I'm saying before I respond. And I told her straight up, I was like, I don't want to say something that I don't mean, or just blurt out something. So I like to really kind of take my time and think about it, But that was, for her, it was like, why would you do that? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that goes into those little things that we were speaking about earlier. he that contendeth little things shall fall little by little. Now we know in that Second Peter, we know in that Second Peter, the 3rd chapter, it says that how is it worded?
Second Peter, 3rd chapter.
Conversation. What manner of men ought we to be in all holy conversation and godliness. Now we know that word conversation goes into what? Our conduct, our manner of life. But let's look at that word conversation for face value.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How should your communication, your conversation be, seeing that these things are about to be destroyed? Well, it goes back into what we're talking about. Being able to bridle our tongue, being able to speak life. You know, and it all starts in our mind. So it ain't no way in hell we live in a certain manner of life, but we loose with our lips. You see what I'm saying? And I hope I'm making sense with what I'm saying. Because that conduct and that manner of life, it starts in your mind, it starts in your spirit. And then it's what? It leads to the speech. And your speech leads to actions, and your actions leads to habits.
That makes you who you are.
So and that's your character now. That's who you are. You see? So that's why when we speak in this word, we have to live and walk in this word as well, which that goes into the manner of life, man. But it first starts with what? In the spirit, and what we in our conversation, literal. You know, our literal speech, which is what? The interpreter of the connotations thereof. Once again. You know? You got a brother, he in a camp, you know what I'm saying? But every time you talk to this guy, all he talk about is bitches. All he talk about is football. You know what I'm saying? All he talk about is, you know, man, I'm catching hell, man. You just hear like it's all carnality when you talk to him. Then you realize, like, God damn, bro, like, well, I don't never talk in the spirit with this brother. Like, it's not a spiritual conversation to have with him. When I try to talk in the spirit with him, it always turns into something carnal. We end up talking about Instagram. You know? And like that, because that shows forth that brother's spirit where his mind is, man. You know?
I got one for you real quick. This is Sirach 5 and 10, if you guys didn't read this yet. This is Sirach 5 and 10. Be steadfast in thy understanding and let thy words be the same. Okay? So yeah, we have to really, you know, take inventory of the things that we allow in our mind. The brother was just going into earlier, you know, setting scourges over your thoughts, man. You know, really, you know, considering what you're saying before you say it. Be swift to hear, and let thy life be sincere, and with patience give answers. You know what I'm saying? So
go ahead.
No, you got it, bro.
But that shows you it's better to if you're gonna be swift, it's with hearing, right? Not swift. In 4 and 29, in Sirach 4 and 29, it says, "Be not hasty with thy lips, be not hasty with thy tongue." So when it comes to listening, we gotta be swift to listen. We gotta be quick to hear. But when it comes to talking, it said what? Be patient. That's when you take your time. Okay, let me take my time before I speak. Let me make sure I'm quick to hear what's being said. But when it comes time for me to speak, like the young man in Job, he listened to the whole matter. And then towards the end of Job, that's when he said, look, I'll let y'all speak. You know what I'm saying? I listened to everything that everybody said. And then he gave the correct he gave the correct words. Right? So that's a prime example of how we ought to be. You know?
He said, I said years should speak. He said, I'm full of matter. So he said he was full of matter. So he was really holding it in, like the whole time. Like now he was holding it in. You know what I mean? He had a lot to say, but he took his time. That's a great example, brother.
Right, because it says a word in a fool is like a arrow in his side, and he gotta get it out. But like you said that what's the man's name in Job? The young man? Elihu. Right. So he had a whole bunch to say, but he held it in. That shows you how wise he was, and what he had to say, it was on point.
Right. He didn't interject one time. He hearing everything. You know he was hot. But
Yeah.
He was like, okay, like he's considering everything that was saying. He's hearing their reasoning. He's hearing their, you know.
Well, he applied the precept.
I got it.
If I can hit this precept real quick.
32.
Sirach 11 and 8. It says, answer not before thou hast heard the cause. Neither interrupt men in the midst of their talk. So he was hearing the cause first, man.
Yeah.
You know, unlike Job's friends didn't even know the cause of Job's, you know, punishment, so to speak, right? But they accused him of things that they didn't have no evidence of. So before they could even hear the cause, they was what? Putting forth judgment, man. Which in that talk, because at the end of that chapter, the Lord said, look, y'all ain't speak what was right of me.
Right. It said
You have my servant Job sacrifice for y'all.
It said they perverted judgment.
You see? So they words and the things that they were saying, even though what they were saying was right. We use those precepts for the wicked all the time.
Right.
But it was what? It wasn't in, it was out of time.
Out of season.
It didn't apply to Job. So
Yep.
that's showing us, man, that we gotta speak the word properly in the proper time.
And just real quick to add to that point, man, that shows you once again how important everything that we say is being reported.
Yeah.
Like they were just having a conversation. That's like us talking right now after the lesson go in and we just talking and this and that and the third, but then you're not bridling your tongue, you saying this and that and the third, bro. Imagine the chariot come down and it's like, who is this that perverted judgment? Like, what is you talking about, nigga? Like, that's how the Lord came, and you know how shook they probably was? Like, oh, snap. Like, if they would have considered that you have, like, the Heavenly Father, that the Lord was going to come down in the chariot, you know what I'm saying? They probably would have been way more careful about the things that they were saying. So that's the same thing with us. It's like, we got to be careful. Like, everything that I'm saying, it's like, yeah, it's being calculated. Like, is this what I really mean? Is this how I actually reason? Like, don't want to be loose lips, you know what I'm saying? But Salaki, bro.
It says, "Curse not the king in our bed, not even in our bedchamber, for a bird of the air shall tear the matter." You know what I'm saying? So the angels, they're oh, what it says, "I have come for your words." Who was that?
Well, that's in Daniel. That was him fasting.
That was him fasting, and but it's also that's on the right hand. You know, showing that the Lord was listening to him. He was listening to his prayers while he was fasting.
How much more? Somebody talking crazy.
Somebody
Every
talking
idle
crazy.
word.
Scripture says,
That's talking about think about
it
before
says,
you pray.
it says,
Prepare your heart.
it said, I have heard them. It said, the stout things you speak against me.
I've heard thy words.
Yeah, I heard them. So he's hearing the wicked boast, but he's hearing the cries of the righteous as well, man. He's hearing judgment. Okay, that's why Scripture says, "Hey, take thou away from me the noise of thy song, but let righteousness run down, let judgment run down as a mighty stream, man." So the Lord's hearing judgment because we have to have proper judgment. But I got a little bit more. This Sirach 5 and 12. If thou hast understanding, answer thy neighbor. If not, lay thy hand upon thy mouth. Honor and shame is in talk, and the tongue of man is his fall. Okay, so like the brothers was going into, man, you know, and they have a saying in the world, they say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. No, that's bullshit. Wars are started off words, man. Okay?
Well, this rock that I'm holding, it says something different. You know, but brothers get y'all precepts. We'll jump back to 28.
Okay. Right here, that's the rock 28 and 18. Is that what you?
We gonna read down into that. So
You want to hit yours real quick?
Yeah. Just line back up what the brother Matthew was saying, because he was going into how everything started off in your mind, you know. And I wanted to read this in Romans chapter 12 and verse 1. It says, "I beseech you, brother. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service." It says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh Shem Yahshua." You know, and it speaks about transforming your mind. You know, because going back to what the brother was saying, all these things, those habits, you know, it all goes back to how you think. You know, and I wanted to grab this as well. Because it talks about it being acceptable unto the Most High. This is Psalms 19 in verse 14. It says, "Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, my strength and my redeemer." All right, and that's what we want, man. We want our words and our thoughts to be acceptable unto the Lord. You know, because he sees and he even sees our thoughts. You know.
Here's one real quick. Ecclesiastes 5 and 6, "Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin,
And that's the part I wanted to get, because hey, your mouth can get you in a world of trouble. That it can get you in something you can't get out of as well, you know. So making sure that we control our speech and make sure that we think before we speak, you know.
That's right. Now that's going into an oath, but what was said is still factual, man. You know, because you can because that's going into an oath. You can say something and you don't perform it. Not performing that oath, you causing your flesh to sin. You know, because you gave your word on doing something and you didn't follow through it. But once again, showing you the importance of thinking before we speaking, man. You know,
The Lord said, "Let your yea be yea, let your nay be nay. Anything else is evil." So when we talk, hey, you better know what you're saying, and you better mean what you say. Otherwise, every idle word, you'll be it'll be taken into account. Yeah, you'll be held accountable for it, man.
Yeah, that's why they have a term in the world called snowball. Basically, when you tell a lie, you gotta tell another lie to cover up that lie. Then you gotta. There's another saying. It says, "Oh, what a tangled web we weave." When at first we practice to deceive, man. Then you end up getting caught in your own fucking web, man. Your web of lies, man. Now you fool.
Yeah, you gotta remember all the lies that you done told, specifically the way you said it. You know?
You lied about the lies that you lied about.
Just tell the truth. It said the truth shall set you free. You say the truth, and now you ain't gotta worry about I told someone and what I and eventually you can't remember that shit.
right.
You can't remember that shit. It's gonna come out. So in the beginning, hey, you just tell the truth, man.
But the Lord's so cold, is you might not remember you said that. But the Lord to have another brother remember you said that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Just how he said it.
Hey, that'll stick. That bro, the Lord have certain things stick. Like, bro, no, that ain't what you said, bro. You know what I'm saying? You said woo up the bam. You know? Well, no, brother, I meant. No, man. You know? Like, once again, because it's something like the brother mentioned that we all can work on. You know? That we all can strive to perfect. You know? Because ultimately goes down into what? Our manner of life. That's what it stems to. You know? Because you can have a guy, he doing his lessons, he out in the highways and hedges, but yet his mind is somewhere else. Yet his talk is of, like we was talking about, bitches, Instagram, you know?
The world.
But yet you see him on the videos,
Bold as hell.
you know? You see him out in the highways and hedges, you see he doing his lessons, but his mind is not towards this work. So it goes back into what's in our spirit and what's within us. You know, I know we still holding that mark. We gonna hit that Proverbs about a soft answer because I want to go back to this Sirach 28.
Did you want James as well?
Yeah, I got you.
We still holding James 3 on deck. If you holding something, go ahead.
Yeah, I got two quick ones. This is Wisdom of Solomon 1:6. For wisdom is a loving spirit and will not acquit a blasphemer of his words. For the Most High is witness of his reigns and a true beholder of his heart and a hearer of his tongue. So it's letting you know that it's tied all together. What's in his heart? What is his speech like? All of that, man, is a show forth. It's a reflection of your spirit. You know, your words, your thoughts, that's a pure reflection of your spirit, man. It says, verse 7, for the spirit of the Lord filleth the world, and that which containeth all things hath knowledge of the voice. Therefore he that speaketh unrighteous things cannot be hid, neither shall vengeance when it punisheth pass by him. So even going back into what we was talking about in Job, right? Those things that they were speaking against Job, like, that wasn't hid. You know? The Lord was hearing all that, and the Lord was not happy at all. So the same thing is like, I be thinking, I'm like, damn, man, I'm sure some things that I said that the Lord was not happy with at all. But yet we still have mercy, you know, and we're still here. You know, we still got place of repentance right now. So just considering all these things, man. It says, verse 9, for inquisition shall be made into the counsels of the ungodly, and the sound of his words shall come unto the Lord for the manifestation of his wicked deeds.
Showing you how it's connected. It says the sound of his voice shall come to the Lord for a manifestation of his evil deeds.
It reveals.
You know? So it's showing you that what it started with what? In his mind. He spoke it with his words, and it followed with his actions. You know?
Yep.
That's why it got to start with us, with being reformed.
That's right.
It starts in our mind, right? It leads to our speech and how we speak, us bridling our tongue, knowing when to say something, when not to say nothing, practicing that, not only when we around each other, but in our everyday life. No matter if we get emotional, you know what I'm saying? And those are the moments that we got to reflect and think on the precepts even more.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Women included. Because you got a woman that say she believe, but then she get in her emotions and get mad and cuss out her husband.
Bullshit.
That's like us getting mad and cussing out the Lord. You see what I'm saying? So just having these things in the forefront of our spirit, man. You know?
It says, verse 10, for the ear of jealousy heareth all things, and the noise of murmurings is not his. Therefore beware murmuring, which is unprofitable. Yeah, talking shit. You know? Here it is, you shalom and the brother the whole time, and you talking hella shit
Behind Jake Beck.
You know?
All that's gonna come to the forefront. All that gonna be brought to the light.
Right.
You know? Like I said, it can't be hid.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. It says, therefore beware murmuring, which is unprofitable, and refrain your tongue from backbiting. For there is no word so secret that shall go for naught, and the mouth that belieth slayeth the soul. So, you know, man, showing you the importance of what we're saying, man. You know, all of that. But I want to hit this with it, James 1 and 26. If any man among you seem to be religious, and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain.
I mean, his worship. When you go into that word religion in the Greek, it means your worship. You know? Because going to this James 3, Lord, where we hit it, it says, he that is able to bridle the tongue is able to bridle the flesh.
Right.
And going back to this Sirach, with Lord's will, we get back into that as well. It says what? That the tongue shall not have rule over those that fear the Lord, man. So those who are able to bridle their tongue to the best of their ability, keep that in mind, to the best of our ability, who's thinking before we're speaking, right? Making sure that we're speaking in the proper time, saying the proper things in a proper season, right? We're able to bridle our whole body, man. You know?
That's heavy. That's
Like
heavy.
straight up.
Because that's the goal. The goal is to conquer the flesh, right? To bridle the body, right? Real quick, the etymon bridle, the word bridle on the etymology.com, to control, to dominate, to restrain, guide, govern. So that shows you how important and thought we need to put into what we say. 'Cause shit, that's my goal. My goal is to bridle the body. Right, to govern the body, to control the body, to dominate the body, and if I can do that with my tongue, then if I can watch what I'm saying, then I'm gonna watch everything else that I'm doing.
Right.
You know?
And when I hear that word dominate, person might think dominate means like you just completely take over something.
Yeah.
Like, no, okay, you might look at boxing or look at UFC. You might have somebody that's dominating the fight,
Right,
but that's not saying he didn't get hit.
right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
That's not saying he didn't get touched.
Mhm.
Yeah, he dominating the fight, but he caught a couple, you know.
Yeah, he controlled that battle.
And it's the
Yeah.
same thing with us. Like
Yeah.
we gonna get our hits.
Yeah.
We gonna slip in our speech, right?
We're gonna fuck up in
We
our
gonna fuck
body.
up in our flesh.
Yep,
But what? We gotta dominate. You see what I'm saying?
yep.
It's like
But even
I
I
like
look
that.
at it in football. You know what I'm saying? When you in the trenches, you got the defensive lineman, offensive lineman. Now you might got an offensive lineman who this guy is really fucking good and he can block and he can, you know,
Right.
nigga, he not winning every trench battle.
Every exchange.
He dominated the game,
Yeah.
but a couple plays,
Nigga got by.
he got past him. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's the same thing with this flesh of ours. Like we gonna take some L's,
Right.
but those L's is learning lessons. You know, the guy might have spinned, he wasn't waiting for it. So now when he do that same spin move, I'm ready for it
Yep,
now.
moving my feet with him.
A guy caught me with that jab, I wasn't looking for that. I ain't see it, but now I ain't gonna get hit with that same punch again.
Counter that motherfucker.
You know, so it's the same thing with what? Our speech and the things we go through in the flesh, man. You know?
and taming the beast, man. It's like you got a wild horse, man. The wild horse is, you know, the running the plains. You trying to make him a you know what I'm saying, a horse you could ride. You know what I
Right.
mean? You gonna get bucked off that motherfucker a few times, man.
Well, that's what you do to control a horse. You put that bridle on him,
Bridle,
you
yeah.
know?
I was just thinking about that script.
I just want to read in another translation. This is in the NIV, James 1 and 26. It says, those who consider themselves religious and yet do not keep a tight rein on their tongues,
Rain.
Wow.
deceive themselves.
Reins. That's what you put on the horse, right?
Yep. You put the
Wow.
reins and all that, man.
Yeah, that's the spirit, man.
So that's why I was like, hey, that connects perfectly, because once again, it's about controlling this motherfucker that we in, man, possessing our vessel. Hey, like Apostle Gabar had mentioned it on the line last week, man. He's like, man, hey, the battle's with ourselves. You know, so this is a part of that battle. And once again, this is a part of becoming a new creature. See, these are things that we can't just neglect. Like, oh, it's no big deal. I know the breakdowns and this and that and the third ain't no big deal. I'll be bridling my tongue when I'm out and about and this and that and the third. I'll say whatever to a nigga. Like, you know, you can't have that attitude. That's not becoming a new creature. So these different things that we talk about is about us becoming that new creature, man. But it says, this one's religion is useless. It says NLT. If you claim to be religious but don't control your tongue, you are fooling yourself and your religion is worthless. So we don't want to be deceiving ourselves. Here it is, we got this beautiful doctrine, but we aren't working on bridling our tongue. If we aren't working on bridling our tongue, then we aren't working on bridling this flesh, or bridling our thoughts and so on and so forth, man. We don't want to be like that, you know?
Like y'all brothers earlier in y'all lesson say, he's like, what, declare martial law on that motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, that, you know what I'm saying? But that's true, man. That's a factual statement. You know, shit, declare, you're having control over what you say and how you react and, you know, what you think and things like that, you know?
Yeah, because, hey, that damn citizen, all right, that's in that city where martial law is declared. He wants to stand up, I've got rights and do this and that and third. What that troop come to do? Hit that nigga on the back of the head?
Yeah.
Nigga, get your ass in line, man. You got a curfew.
Yeah, if you allow him to get out, that's gonna spread. Oh, this nigga out? Then everybody else everybody else gonna come out. So you gotta make sure you nigga, everybody's staying in, bro. There's no exceptions.
Yeah.
That's how we gotta be with the tongue. That's how we gotta be with our body. It's just going in on disciplining everything. It's just going to another level of discipline. You know?
Fucking jailbreak. But I got one real quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's really becoming a new creature. That brother read that Romans 12. It says what? It says, be ye transformed by the renewing of our mind. You know, a guy think that he grow his beard out and he threw fringes on that his ass knew. Like, bro, the process is so much deeper than that, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The nigga stopped eating pork. All of a sudden, he a new creature now, man. Bro, it goes far deeper than that. We really have to become new creatures, man. By new creatures meaning what? It's a whole new way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Now we speak different. I talk to my family, bro. I don't even know you no more. They not supposed to.
Right.
They not supposed to. The things I used to like, I don't like that no more.
Right.
Now I'm into whole new things. Bro, that ain't you. You ain't never used to like that. Well, shit.
I'm a new man.
Yeah.
Like Paul said, let that suffice us.
Yeah, Paul said when I was a child,
Peter.
I spake as a child.
Yeah.
I thought as a child. When I became a man, I put away childish things. But the two things that he harped on, he said his thoughts and his words. He put away those things, man. You know?
I got a couple. I don't know if y'all read the Sirach 5 and 2 yet, but I'm gonna bring it out. This is Sirach 5 and 2. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thy heart be hasty to utter anything before Yahweh.
Is that Ecclesiastes?
Yeah. Oh, Slaki. It's Ecclesiastes, Slaki. This is Ecclesiastes 5 and 2. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before Yahweh. For Yahweh is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore let thy words be few. Okay? So yeah, man, just really bridling what you're saying, man, and keeping your words concise and to the point. This is
Salakia, I think the first verse in that says, keep thy foot when I cometh to the house of the Lord, for you know if not that you do evil. So, and that can apply, we used to bring that out all the time. Some scoffer will come up.
Keep going and shut up.
Yeah, but even when we're just amongst ourselves, man.
Apply to us.
Yeah, exactly. How much more? It could be a whole council going on, or we're going over a matter or whatever, and you just saying stuff, right? Or you could be the spotlight of the council, and you keep justifying. That's actually evil. You're trying to justify yourself in the midst of you being counseled on something, or we're going over a matter that happened, and you keep justifying. That's actually evil according to that precept. You know.
I got one more.
Which we don't realize. One offense, like I like to bring out that Sirach It speaks about a woman that breaketh wedlock.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
She don't.
three
She don't.
offenses.
It's 3 offenses in that one act she's doing. And that reminded me of what the you know just the situation or the scenario that the brother just explained about how that Ecclesiastes 5:1 could apply to a brother in the faith, man, by not keeping your mouth, right? But also the brother mentioned about you justifying yourself. There's a precept where it says, "Justify not thyself before the king."
Mm-hmm.
So you breaking multiple precepts
Laws.
off that one, action, man.
Yep.
So that's just being, once again, being mindful, you know what I'm saying, of our reasoning, of our speech, our thought process, and that's once again the self-examination.
Yep.
Because we're coming into the point, or into the times, which we've been in those times, but as we see the days approaching, it's time for us to get tightened in our spirit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Start reflecting in ourselves. Damn, man, I fucked up here. I can't do that again. I let my speech slip there. I can't do that again. Because we coming into times where that can be the last slip up. The Lord can be like, you know what? I'm tired of warning this guy. I'm tired of talking to this guy. Then that could be our last night on earth. You know what I'm saying? So once again, just being mindful of these things, man. Go ahead.
This is Sirach, chapter 10 and 13. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that have it shall pour out abomination. So yeah, man. Being proud will have you just saying any fucking thing, man. That's why humility goes a long way, man. Having humility, being humble. Just being able to be rebukable. You know what I'm saying? Being able to be rebukable, man, and really, as the scripture says, I not if thou will only acknowledge thine own iniquities, man. Really, when the spotlight is on you, look, don't reflect on what it is. Not about what somebody else did, nigga. You're the one being rebuked about something. This is about what you did, and really focusing on that, But it says, I'll read it again. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that have it shall pour out abomination. So, a proud man is just going to be speaking anything and not really care what the consequences is. It says, and therefore Yahweh brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. So the things that you say, man, that come out of your mouth, they reflect on what's in your heart, and they can be the cause of your overthrow, man.
Whether life or death.
Yeah.
That's how important, our thoughts and our speech is. Because it's going to determine life or death, man. And Jake don't consider that. That's why you see Jake on the comment board saying whatever the hell, talking shit. Because they don't think that your thoughts, even the thoughts.
Right.
You got brothers in the camp that's not bridling thoughts. That's letting thoughts just go run rampant. Having a whole thought about a brother, yeah, man, I think this nigga wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? And he's beloved in the eyes of the Lord. You don't know how beloved that man is in the heavens, man. But you like, the angel going right back, like, bro, you know the thought he had against the brother.
Your goddamn head.
So once, man, we gotta apply these precepts, man. It goes deeper than, the white man is a devil.
The nigga woman.
You nigga women, where's the dress? And all that, bro. It goes deeper than that, man. Yeah. Where your head wrap at? Bro, it goes deeper than that, man. It's about being renewed in our mind and in our spirit. You want to jump back to Sirach 23?
Huh. This is
You own something?
It was just real quick, just what the brother was speaking on too. Sirach 29. Proverbs 29. Right. Damn. I was just holding it right here. Go ahead.
It's Sirach chapter 23 and verse 2. Who will set scourges over my thoughts, and the discipline of wisdom over mine heart, that they spare me not for my ignorances, and it pass not by my sins.
Right, so he praying, this is a prayer to the Lord, by the way. He's praying that he don't get spared. So if a wicked thought, right, a thought without understanding coming to the mind, that scourge of wisdom, which is a precept, should be there to whoop, cut it, bow. Nope, man, damn. No, I shouldn't have thought of that. You know? Because it all starts in our mind. It all starts in the spirit. That's where everything starts from, man. You know? Go ahead.
Lest my ignorances increase and my sins abound to my destruction.
You see? So if he not bridling his thoughts, what'll happen? His sins, his actions that he's putting forth will increase, man. Go ahead.
And I fall before my adversaries, and my enemy rejoice over me, whose hope is far from thy mercy.
And that's what happened unto us as a nation. And that's what Esau wants to continue to still happen. That's why vocab is out there going so strong for Christianity, man. See, because Christianity, there is no accountability on your thoughts. There's no accountability on your actions and what you put forth. All you got to say is, Jesus, I repent. And all that is washed away. And then you go back to do that same shit again. And in your mind, you think, all I have to say is, Jesus, I repent. Or I could just get baptized in some water and everything back to normal again.
Or it don't matter.
Or I just believe in Jesus.
You know?
I'm saved.
That's what vocab is fighting for. He wants Jake to go back into that mentality. He wants Jake to go back into that mentality of speaking without thinking, acting rashly,
Acting like niggas.
living off your emotions. That's what he wants Jake to go back to that, man. Why? Because he wants Jake to continue to live a death style.
We'd be black.
He wants Jake to go on his belly, man. Go upon his belly because he's going upon his belly, man. He wants Jake to continue to be carnal because as long as you're being carnal, I can accuse you. Because that's what they're ultimately doing to Jake, man. That's why the scriptures call him the accuser of our brethren, man. No, they're sinning against you. Lord, look at your people. You know what I mean? They want to be able to constantly do that, man. You know?
O Lord, Father and power of my life, give me not a proud look, but turn away from thy servant always a haughty mind.
That goes back to what? That pride, that proud mind that Jake just read. Go ahead.
Turn away from me vain hope and concupiscence, and thou shalt hold him up that is desirous always to serve thee.
So it's our desire towards Yahweh Shem Yahushua, then our prayer should be exactly what he's praying. If our desire is toward Yahweh Shem Yahushua, then we're asking the Lord for these traits. We're practicing these precepts. The scripture says what? Bridle your mind? Man, how can I do that? I said, I got to get this word in me. That's why I said, swallow them down, O my soul, understanding and devour wisdom.
Yep.
Because this is our defense. It says, put on the whole armor of the Lord that we may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Not only Esau pitfalls that he has out here, but what? The spiritual demon Satan, man. That comes and what? Tempts our flesh. You know? He plays on the thoughts of the mind. He plays on your emotions. He's called the tempter. So he's going to play off those different things, man.
Good as hell too.
Yeah.
He knows you. He knows you.
Which what we gotta be able to have a defense for those things.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what? These precepts. Which is our prayer. If I can read this Psalms 141. And I'll start at 1, the point is in 3. It says, a psalm of David. It says, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, I cry unto thee, make haste unto me, give ear unto my voice when I cry unto thee. Let my prayer be set forth before thee as incense, and the lifting up of my hands as the evening sacrifice. Set a watch, O Yahweh Shem Yahushua, before my mouth, and keep the door of my lips. So the same thing the brother read in Sirach, the 22nd chapter, going back, right? Verse 4, incline not my heart to any evil thing, to practice wicked works with men that work iniquity, and let me not eat of their dainties, man. So this is what he's asking the Lord. When you go and read Psalms 119, every other precept goes into, Lord, incline my heart to thy ways. Lord, order my feet in thy paths. This is a prayer that our forefathers are praying. So if we're desiring Yahweh Shem Yahushua, then we're doing those same things. It says the things that are written aforetime are what? Written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. So the things that we read that our forefathers are doing when they walk this earth, we should be doing those same things, man. Once again, Sirach 23 that we reading right here is a prayer. We should be praying to the Lord. Lord, I'm desirous to serve thee. Like it says in Psalm 73. It says, there is nothing on this earth I desire but thee, O Lord. I'm roughly paraphrasing the precept, man. So if our desire is toward Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, we're asking the Lord, Lord, don't give us up to vain thoughts. Lord, don't give me over to an impudent mind. Lord, let me be mindful of my own of my thoughts. Guide me in a proper way. Allow my heart and my speech to be acceptable in thy sight. These are things that we're asking the Lord. And not only just asking the Lord these things, but what? We're making sure we're applying these things. If that's it in Sirach 23, we can jump back to 28.
There's a couple more verses. This is Sirach 23. I'll read verse 5 again. Turn away from me vain hopes and concupiscence, and thou shalt hold him up that is desirous always to serve thee. So if our main desire is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, we're going to be held up. No matter what we're faced with, we're not going to be able to fall. All right? No matter what's going on around us, the scenario that we find ourselves in, if we are always desirous to serve him, he is going to make a way for us. Verse 6, it says, let not the greediness of the belly, nor the lust of the flesh take hold of me, and give not over me thy servant unto an impudent mind. Hear, O ye children, the discipline of the mouth. He that keepeth it shall never be taken in his lips. It goes back to bridling the mouth, man. Disciplining it. He that keepeth it, he that controlleth it, he that dominates it, shall never be taken by it. That's it on that. It's the same when they come and pull you over, right? Or you not pull you over, but you're getting arrested. They read you your Miranda rights. Anything that you say can and will be used against you. Well, it's the same with the angels, man. Nigga, you just saying anything, bro, that's gonna be used. It can and it will be used against you. You know?
Once again, every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account of in the day of judgment. Like you said, bro, those words gonna be used again. Hey, before we came on, you said that you was looking forward to the second season of Loki. Well, on the first season, when he arrived to that timekeeping shit, he was speaking and the motherfucker was over there typing exactly what he was saying. He was like, hold on, is that real time? Like everything I said is recorded? They said yes. Everything you said is recorded.
Since his birth.
You know what I'm saying? Well, that's the same, bro. Like these shows and movies, it's based on real life, man. They get these things from the scriptures. You know, and bro, everything you said is on tabs. You know.
They got something already. It's already locked.
Yeah, bro. Just like in court. How you I forgot what the name of the person is. But in court, she's typing everything that's said.
Stenographer.
You know? If you know it, brother, there's a lot of, you know, give him a hand.
$1 million word.
Yeah, man. It's the same thing in the heavens, man. It's the same thing in the heavens.
Well, it says, it's a scripture that says that our words are a sacrifice. Basically talking about the sacrifice of our lips. I can't really find where it's at, but our words are a sacrifice, man.
Some on Hebrews 13.
Right, yeah.
And just real quick, because I had
Actually
that
got it.
Proverbs 29 and 20. It says, seest thou a man that is hasty in his words, there is more hope of a fool than of him. Showing you that you can't be hasty in your speech, man. Just blurring out stuff, man, it get you in trouble. Like the brother said, hey, it could be counted against you, man. Everything that we speak is written down and recorded, you know, and you're gonna have to give account of those words, you know. But that was it on that.
Yeah, eventually the Lord is gonna come for those words, man. You know, hey, because matter of fact, I got it. This is Hebrews 13 and 15. By him, therefore, let us offer the sacrifice of praise to Yahweh continually. That is the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to his name. So the fruit of our lips is what? The words that come out of it. All right, and that's actually a sacrifice, man. That's why the elect are gonna be justified, because they're gonna be found with the right words in their mouth.
Without that's the spirit. Psalms 32.
Without God. Yeah, and everybody else that are speaking perverse things, because anything else, anything outside of this word is perverse, man. You know what I'm saying? It's profane. It's perverse. It's profane. Profane means outside the temple. So anything outside of the Lord's word and His judgment is pretty much profane. So we got to make sure that everything we're saying is in line with, and because the scriptures talk about how they have gone in the way of Cain. What did Cain do? He offered up basically a fucked up sacrifice, and he knew it was a fucked up sacrifice, man. But scripture says how much more if he do it with a wicked mind. You know what I'm saying when it talks about that sacrifice, man. So we got to understand that the words that we're saying is also a sacrifice, man. And we can't be throwing no trash sacrifice on the altar, man.
Yeah, because we're ultimately going into our praise. You know, that's why it says even the praise, you know, so the fruit of our lips is the praise and glory we give to the Lord. Well, it got to be what? In the spirit of truth, man. You know, so that lines up with what? Our conversation, meaning our literal speech, because of the speech interprets what? Our heart, our spirit, our mind, which in turn follows after what? Our habits, our character, our manner of life, who we are. So this is going back to Sirach 28, and I'm going to read 12 again. It says, if thou blow the spark, it shall burn. If thou spit upon it, it shall be quenched. And both these come out of thy mouth. Now the precept to this is, you can hit that in Proverbs.
This is Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 1. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger.
Yep. Grievous words is what? You blowing on that spark. But a soft answer is you spitting on it, man. Once again, going back into what? The power of speech. The power of the words, right? That we have been empowered with. That's why going back to that's Sirach 17, it says what? He endowed them with strength by themselves, man. The counsel, the tongue, us being able to reason and understand, right? You got something?
Yeah, if I could read the next verse, it says, the tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness.
That's it, man. It says using knowledge aright, properly, right? This back in Sirach 28, and we in verse 13 now. It says, curse the whisperer in the double tongue, for such have destroyed many that were at peace. What it says in double-minded man is unstable in all his ways in the book of James, man. But also it's the same in Sirach the 2nd chapter. It says he that
The sinner that go 2 ways.
yep. But I'm gonna read it again. It says Sirach 28 and 13, cursed be the whisperer and double tongue, for such as have destroyed many that were at peace. And when I think of the double tongue, I think of pretty much black culture, man. Because I think about what I was raised around. I was raised around majority of women.
Gossip.
Right? And not just the gossip, but what we call two-faced. Because here it is, when that person is present, hey, bro, I think
Friday?
That's exactly what I'm about.
But you know what she was doing coming out here wearing them little ass shorts?
Because she said, oh, look at her.
Yeah, right.
She know what she's doing.
Hey, girl.
Call me when you get off work.
Okay.
Knowing damn well she didn't like her,
She
man.
was talking shit.
You know? But no, that's black culture. And that's so much ingrained within black culture that, nigga, that's in the movie.
Yes, yeah.
That shit's funny, bro. That shit's funny.
Because, and everybody related to that. Why? Because that's ingrained in black culture.
Yeah.
My auntie was the queen of that shit, bro.
My fucking anger too, bro.
You know?
To this
Yeah,
day.
yes, she was a hoe too. But you know, she's the queen of that shit, bro. Her so-called friends, bro, all I hear about is the shit that her friends do, and then when they come over, hey, they having a great ass time, and I'm like, bro, she just dogged the fuck out of her. You know what I'm saying? But now they best friends. Bro, as soon as they leave the crib, she go right back to talking. Did you smell her breath? Like she's supposed to be your friend. You ain't say nothing.
Right.
You know, you can at least pull her to the side and hey, you know,
Tic Tac or
Real
something.
rough, bro.
I don't know what you just left from doing, but you know. But no, like straight up, that's the whisper and double tongue.
Yeah.
And you got guys that claim to be in the faith that do that, man.
Right, because they was raised by their mom.
Shalom, brother. Bro, and just a quick testimony. I know this brother can attest to it, man. It'll be a whole group of brothers, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's one nigga, this nigga crying. Oh, this is my teacher. Yeah, I love this brother. But then it goes, then that specific brother is not around and he's around younger brothers. Man, everybody, he think he a big dog. He think he this. He always wants somebody, you know. But nigga, when all the brothers was around, you was crying, bawling your eyes out about how this man was your teacher. How you love this man. How you honored this man so much. But when that man wasn't around and you was around a couple younger brothers, now all of a sudden how big-headed this dude think he is, how much he gotta be the center of attention, you know. And I ain't gotta speak who did it. You know, brothers know who I'm talking about in the spirit, man. You know? But that's an example, man, of guys that claimed and that nigga had hella knowledge, taught me a lot, but was unprofitable unto himself, man. And these things are examples that we can look at too and be like, man, look, we can't be like that. We can't move like that.
A double-minded man is unstable in his ways, man. If anybody can come down to 34th Street and confound the apostles, then that's then you know you trying to confound the apostles. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, we got to be exact, man, with our speech, man. Because like I said, it's a sacrifice, man. You got to ask yourself, is this acceptable to the Lord, man? Would the Lord accept this?
I was just gonna add, because that was a heavy point that you brought up, because we was talking about the power of the tongue, but what that guy did was he condemned himself, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He said, bro,
That own words condemned thee.
bro, he said, if anybody can come in and confound the apostles, then I forgot what he said concerning salvation. It was something.
He said he would renounce Yahweh Shai.
Like, why would you even say that out of your mouth? Like, no matter what, why would you even say that? But that's a man that's showing.
That's a fool.
That's a fool.
Taken by his mouth.
That's right, man. And he spoke that on himself. And like the brother said, he went around and tried to confound the elders. But that's the thing, like, you're not considering the things that you said. Why would that come out of your mouth? That's a person that's not thinking before he speaks. You're saying all types of wild things that you're going to be held accountable for. Like, come on,
He
man.
pouring out abomination.
Pouring out abominations, exactly. And it says that in Sirach the 10th chapter, man. Because it talks about pride. Hey, he that hath it will pour out abominations, man.
Yeah, that's what he read earlier.
Okay, come, Salaki.
And like the brother said, that's ingrained in black culture, man. This nigga Kevin Gates, they asked him some
Hold on,
shit.
brother. Go ahead,
What you know about black culture?
Nah.
His ass ain't even watch Friday. Put him out there.
Nah, but for real though, when Kevin Gates, I think they asked him some shit, right? And he, out of nowhere, he said, I swear my kids, they can drop down, they can drop dead and die.
Oh,
I'm
he
like,
was
what
talking
the fuck
about
did you say, fool?
He was talking about starting a battery with his bare hands.
Yeah, something like that, bro. And I'm like, bro, why would you just say some shit like that,
But
bro?
the
Like,
scriptures speak about that. It talks, Salaki, not to cut you off, bro, Salaki, but it talks about intemperate swearing, man.
Well, yeah, that was the same chapter I was reading earlier in Sirach 23. It says, custom not your mouth to swearing.
That's right, man. Making them oaths, and that's all, once again, in black culture, and that's all a part of the old man. Like, a nigga is quick to say, I put that on my mama and this and that and the third, but you're making oaths that you're going to be held accountable for, and you just freely saying that without fear. So all these things, once again, that's a part of the old man, that as we come into this faith, these are things that it ain't optional. It ain't like, oh, that's just a suggestion. Oh, I know the breakdown, so I'm cool without applying that. Like, now all of this is like, I got to apply that. I got to make sure I'm not moving like that. I'm not loose with my tongue like that, man. That's like it.
I got something real quick. Just going laying back off what you was just saying. This Colossians. Colossians chapter 3 and verse 8. It says, but now ye also put off all these, but now ye also put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth. It says, lie not one to another.
Right, so we're supposed to be transparent with one another, man. It says lie not one to another. So the old man might have lied because of not being embarrassed or
For whatever reason, a nigga will lie for no reason.
Bro,
You would just meet a nigga, bro, and this nigga will greet you with a lie.
Just
Like,
say
nigga,
random
nigga,
shit.
I don't even know you, bro. I don't know you, bro.
Boasting about shit that.
And the first thing you start to telling me how you had 20 mil in the bank, but something happened to where you blew it. And
Right.
nigga, you working at the same job as me, nigga.
Hey, you had all these bitches last weekend, bro. We was in the party.
And just for what, bro? Like for what? You know what I'm saying?
Beyonce pregnant only once.
Niggas just be lying for no reason. There's no point of lying. But a nigga just start off the conversation with a whole lie. Go ahead.
It says, lie not one to another, seeing that you put off the old man with his deeds. It says, and have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him.
Right. Hey, because I don't know if it's the next verse. Does it say ye have not so learned Yahweh Shai? Might be another one. But nevertheless, it's another one where it says, but ye have not so learned Mashiach, man. Like, we didn't learn, Yahweh Shai didn't teach us to move in that way, to be lying one to another,
We wasn't
not being
raised like that.
transparent. Yeah, like straight up, yeah, like you said, he wasn't raised like that. So here it is, we got all this beautiful knowledge. The way that we should be moving should be reflecting that. I didn't learn that from Yahweh Shai to be like that, man. All right, to be loose with my tongue and everything like that. The Lord didn't raise me like that. And that, once again, like, we're children that are growing up. So there's things that's continually being cut off, that's being worked on, until we get conformed to that image of Yahweh Shai. We're being conformed into that image, man, until he actually comes and gives us those new bodies, man. But it starts within our mind,
And
you know?
that's how a lot of women get popped off with adultery with their own fucking mouth, man. You know, because here it is, they get to talking some shit like, I didn't teach you that. Where'd you get that from? I know from experience, like, where the fuck you get that from? You know, you wasn't talking like that shit last. What the fuck? Saying some shit while the band.
New
Certain
slang,
words,
new
with certain
slang.
slang.
Yeah,
You know, certain songs.
Yeah, she
You
got,
know what I'm
she got
saying?
another
Like,
spirit on
you
her.
know.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Different spirit
another
on
man's
it.
spirit
Like,
on it.
where you get that from? That ain't me. That's somebody else talking, you know. But that's what it is. That's how Yahweh Shai. That's how the Lord look at it, man. You speaking things outside of this. Who the fuck? Where you get that from?
Right, who you been around?
Yeah, who you been around? You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing, man. You know. So man, we gotta really pay attention to what we're saying, why we're saying it. You know.
Before we say it.
Before we say it, scriptures even talk about a wise word that's even out of season. Yeah, it was wise what you said, but it was the wrong time to say it. You know.
Yeah, and in Peter it says, if any man shall speak, let him speak of the oracles of the Lord. And then I had a precept just to go with that in the book of Sirach, chapter 9 and verse 15. Let thy talk be with the wise, in all thy communication in the law of the Most High. And I thought there was a scripture, and it was like pretty much talk about the law in the morning and the evening with your son. Yeah, I was looking for it.
Deuteronomy 6.
That's what I thought it was. 6, bro.
It should be like 6 and
Right at
6,
the top, right?
6 and 7. 'Cause I know verse 4.
Yep,
is
you're right.
Shemaiah.
You're right. This is Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 7. I started 6. It says, "And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children."
And not just those laws that's in the laws of Moses, but what? The entirety of the book.
Yeah.
So what we go into about what? Bridling our tongue. That's something that's a law that should be in our mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Because it says what? Let these words be in thy mind. So these is things that we should have what? In our spirit. So in certain situations, these words should pop up and be like, oh. And that's the armor, man.
Yep.
That's how we will be protected. You know? But go ahead.
"And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up."
Ultimately, he's saying meditate on his word.
Yep.
Like he told Joshua in the first chapter. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Speaks about meditating on the law of the Lord, roughly paraphrasing. It shall bring it shall
Prosperity.
cause thee to prosper, roughly paraphrasing that.
"And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes."
Right. Now you have Pharisees that took that literal,
Right.
where that's where you get that it's called phylacteries.
Phylacteries.
They would wrap it around their hand and no. What that's saying is the perfect precept for that is Sirach. If a brother know exactly where that what is that? Sirach It gotta be 30 something if I'm remembering correctly. It's the same one where it says that yep, this is Sirach 37 and 16. It says, let reason go before every enterprise and counsel before every action, man. And what is the counsel? It's these testimonies, it's these words. It's the law, statutes, and commandments. It's the totality of the book. So before we actually put our hand forth, because putting your hand forth to something is an action. So before we go to do something, it should be weighed in the spirit. You know? It should be meditated on. What precept do I have to justify my action that I'm putting here right now? You know? That's how we think. That's how we move, being a new creature.
That's right.
I got one if I may. This is Wisdom of Solomon 8, and I'm gonna start at 1. Wisdom of Solomon 8 and 1. Wisdom searches from one end to another mightily. Slocky. Wisdom reacheth from one end to another mightily, and sweetly does she order all things, especially our words, right? I loved her and sought her out from my youth. I desired to make her my spouse, and I was a lover of her beauty, and that she is conversant with Yahweh, she magnifieth her nobility. Yea, Yahweh, power of all things himself, loved her. Okay, so she is conversant. Wisdom is conversant with the Most High. And as the scripture says, we have the mind of Hamashiach, man. So if we have the mind of Hamashiach, we should be conversant in wisdom as well, man.
We'll jump down to 16.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 8. Wisdom of Solomon 8 and 16. After I am come into mine house, I will repose myself with her. For her conversation have no bitterness, and to live with her have no sorrow, but mirth and joy.
Mm-hmm.
Now when I considered these things in myself, and pondered them in my heart, how that to be allied unto wisdom is immortality, and great pleasure it is to have her friendship, and in the works of her hands are infinite riches, and in the exercise of conference with her, prudence, and in talking with her, a great report. I went about seeking how to take her to me.
There you go. Just to back up your point, man. You know, because wisdom knows the things that's pleasing to the Lord. So therefore, our conversation, us consulting with wisdom, allows us to know what's pleasing to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man.
Right, so it's ponder, which is the meditate. You know what I'm saying? Ponder upon those things. Think about those things. You know.
And it says a conference with her. When you had a conference
Right,
call,
sit down.
right?
Yeah.
So the conference with wisdom is you know. Of course, it is you in the spirit, you reading, right? But also, what? This is a conference right here, man. When brothers get together, they break bread. Brothers get together to do a lesson, you know, so that these things can be fresh and in the forefront of our spirits. But this going back.
No, I was just thinking of when you was in school and you had conferences, and your parents would go sit with the teacher, and they going over how you been doing, how you been acting in class, what your grades like, what you can work on, the things that you did good. You know, these are things that, you know, having them conferences. Okay, I've been doing this. You know, you give yourself a little progress report. I've been working on this. I need to work on that. You know, so on and so forth. But you got it. So
That's the self-examination.
That's right.
You know, and we got to go see the physician. Just like when something in your body ain't right, Jake ass run their ass to Esau, man. You get a checkup. Go to the doctor. Well, if something in our spirit ain't right, who should we go to? The physician, which is Yahweh Shai, man. So we got to go to the Lord. You know?
Counselors.
So we constantly at the doctors, so to speak.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Meaning we're constantly seeking the physician.
Getting
No,
them
Lord, I
checkups.
need help with this. No, I need help with that. No, just the checkup. No, I feel good, but I just need, you know what I'm saying? You know?
Yep.
Like, and that's the constant examination. Because we teaching, we doing lessons, we out in the highways and hedges, we being brotherly, we doing all these things, but look, it's still a self-examination. But there's something that's, you know, I might be slipping somewhere.
Something might be superfluous that need to, you know what I'm saying, they need to get cut off. You know, that's the whole that's the whole thing about circumcision, man. Cutting off that excess flesh, man. You know, it may be something that we don't even see, you know, but it's superfluous, man. It's something that's excess bullshit that doesn't need to be there, man. The Lord, what we're learning is, man, the Lord is trimming fat, man.
But even in something that's lawful,
Yeah.
you know, because that can play into a factor of what's hindering our spiritual growth as well. Something might be lawful for us to partake in or for us to do, but it might not be expedient. But not only that, because Paul said it twice. When he said something might be lawful,
I want to have that.
but he said something might not be expedient, meaning it might not be profitable, which it might be out of season for you to do that. But he mentioned in the other one, when he said the same thing, that that I will not be brought under the power of any. So something might be lawful for you to do, but it's what? Now it's taking control of you. Like drinking. You know what I'm saying? Drinking is lawful for us to do, but some brothers indulge too much.
Chill out.
To the point where what? It has power over that brother, man.
But the fact that you need it now to calm down or something.
You know?
Women.
Now you're using an excuse, now you're using a precept to further your excuse of drinking. They say give strong drink to him that's ready to perish, brother.
Damn.
But you know, just because the Spirit teaches us moderation and balance, man.
Yeah.
In all things.
Yeah.
You know? So once again, going back into that self-examination of ourselves, you know, to make sure nothing on this earth has power over us. The brother mentioned women, you know, that nothing has, these things are lawful for us to do, but let us not have power, you know. Hey, there's nothing wrong with a brother, you know, going the Judah route, which I hope y'all brothers know what I'm saying, you know.
Judah, no.
Yeah, Judah definitely know, you know. But hey, it's nothing wrong, or the Samson route.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. But what happened with Samson? He gave his heart over to that, which Sirach lets us know that.
Or the prodigal son, he gave pretty much his inheritance to righteous living.
Yep.
You know, so hey, yeah, you can do that, but nigga, that you just spend your last dollar on some hoes and some drinks, and now you come into the camp asking brothers for money.
For rent money.
For rent money, but you just spent, so that show you that you need to take a break from that. You know what I'm saying? You need to get that under control. You need to get a hold of that. You know?
You ain't fasting.
Food can be, you can be overindulging in food.
Yep.
Gluttony. You just been eating all the time, man, and then it gets to the point where it's like it's hard for you to fast because you so into food. You know, that's actually real. You know, you just been eating. If you go a long time, I know if I go, you know, a certain period of time without fasting, that fast is harder to do. But if I'm constantly fasting, it's easier. It's easier because I have more control over it. You know what I'm saying?
It's just like working out.
Yep.
You know, you stop working out for a while. When you get back into working out, that shit,
man,
it's a rough.
First
you gotta get over that hill.
Yep.
But then when you back to being consistent, it ain't that hard no more.
Yep.
But then once you stop and then try to get back into it, you know, so
start losing games.
But this is back in Sirach 28, and I'm gonna read 13 again. It says, "Cursed be the whisper and the double tongue, for such have destroyed many that were at peace. A backbiting tongue have disquieted many, and driven them from nation to nation. Strong cities hath it pulled down, and overthrown the houses of great men." Like, keep that in. That's all for what? Backbiting. That's all for what? Things that God's let out of their mouth. It says they were driven from nation to nation. It says great cities was destroyed. Houses of great men. Right? It says, verse 15, "A backbiting tongue hath cast out virtuous women." So even going back into what? A woman that says she believe, but yet she backbiting her husband.
Well, King David, his favorite woman at the time, man, Michal. What? And then he started talking trash, or she started talking trash. Yeah, he put her away. But what? That was his shorty. You know what I'm saying? He was fucking with her. She got crazy out the lip. Oh nah. No children.
So it's showing you The woman can have a head wrap.
Right.
She can have a dress on.
Niggas talking crazy.
Just from you talking crazy, talking behind your
Yeah.
husband back, or
Talking about your
undermining
business.
them. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna finish it out real quick. It says a backbiting tongue that cast out virtuous women and deprive them of their labors, man. But that can be applied to a man as well. We the woman of the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
So backbiting, because we supposed to be a virtuous woman to the Lord. Backbiting would cast us out and what deprive us of all our labor that we put in, man.
Hell no.
But once again, it's going back into how powerful words are, man. To make sure that we're bridling our tongue. To make sure, like, look, no, that thought bogus. You know? To be mindful of the things we saying, man. Situations we find ourselves in. Right? It's verse 16. Whoso hearkeneth unto it shall never find rest and never dwell quietly. Come on, man. Hey, that's why you see so much violence in J community. In black culture. Why? Because it just said it. They will never find rest and never dwell quietly, man. Because you're dealing with backbiting women, you're dealing with backbiting men, you're dealing with whispers and double tongue. That's ingrained in black culture, bro.
Gotta get away from that.
And Yashwamba says it all the time. They have bad conflict resolution skills, man. It reminds me of that scene on Boondocks. We had the nigga moment. Yeah, it was like one nigga, they accidentally stepped on each other's shoe or some shit like that. Hey, nigga, hey, what's up, man? Them pulling these guns with each other. Hey, squeeze that motherfucker in, nigga. They see, they know they about to blow each other down. You know what I'm saying? Because of a fucking word, man. You know, but the brother brought it out earlier, man. He said, spit on the fire.
Yeah, that's the same chapter.
Yeah, you know.
But nigga moment is based off emotions.
Yeah.
Right? That's the point of controlling our emotions and our
Controlling our
feelings.
spirit.
Yeah, controlling our spirit, man. Like the Elder Yashwama says, Satan thrives off nigga moments. He's waiting for the right nigga moment, and guess who's gonna be there? Satan's gonna be there to escalate it, to instigate it, man.
Shit on.
Yeah, hang shit on it.
Think you gonna let him say that to you like that?
He's a nigga on the bike.
Right.
He the nigga on the bike, though.
Oh, you talking about y'all can't?
No.
I was thinking about Buns, man, from fucking Belly and shit. They had the two niggas in the restaurant and shit. So you gonna let him talk to you like that? Then he ended up shooting the other nigga, man. His best homie and shit.
Bro, that's how Satan be, bro. He'll be in your head like, you gonna let that slide? The way he said that to you?
You a bitch.
You know, you know how you saying, bro, you heard how he said it to you? Fuck what he said. How he said it to you.
Oh,
All
Goodfellas.
types of weak ass shit like that. So like,
Yeah, that scene in the restaurant and shit.
Yeah, that shit. That's
The little guy said basically F you to Joe Pesci and shit. And then it was what's that nigga name? Robert De Niro. His character, he started egging him on and shit. Oh, you gonna let this fucking guy talk? He said, "What is the world coming to?" Then he ends up shooting this fucking kid, man. You know, nigga shit. You know,
It's back in Sirach 28:17. It says, "The stroke of the whip maketh marks in the flesh, but the stroke of the tongue breaketh the bones," man. So going back to the statement the brother made earlier, how in nigga culture it says sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt. Nah, you a goddamn lie.
Bro, even in nigga culture, niggas get killed over words, man. Niggas get killed. What you say about my mama? Niggas get killed over that, man.
Yep. Verse 18. Many have fallen by the edge of the sword, but not so many as have fallen by the tongue. And a lot of those judgments happen because of the tongue.
Yeah.
A nigga gets shot, he'll get slain by the sword because
His
of
mouth.
the tongue.
Yeah.
You see? Because the nigga talking crazy.
It's a world of
Flying
trouble.
off the lip, man. It says, verse 19. Well is he that is defended from it, and have not passed through the venom thereof, who have not drawn the yoke thereof, nor have been bound in her bands. For the yoke thereof is a yoke of iron, and the bands thereof are bands of brass. And Tawadi Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that he delivered us from that, man. You know, like straight up. And look, and it's easy to get caught back into that. And keep in mind how great of a hold it has on a person. He not just saying this for nothing, man. Right? It says, for the yoke thereof is a yoke of iron, and the bands thereof are bands of brass. So we can't seek to be back into that.
Yeah, it's hard to break out.
Because it's hard to break out of that. So since the Lord saw fit to bless us, gift us, grace us with his word that set us free, we should continue to seek ways of staying out of that hole, man. Staying out of that trap, right? It says verse 21, the death thereof is an evil death, the grave were better than it. It shall not have rule over them that fear the Most High, neither shall they be burnt with the flame thereof. Such as forsake the Lord shall fall into it, and it shall burn in them and not be quenched. It shall be sent upon them as a lion and devour them as a leopard. And ultimately, it's going to come upon them unawares. Because the lion and the leopard, they are stealth animals, man. Like that one dude. And you can tell he was proud as hell. Nigga was recording himself. You know, nigga, you seen the look on his face.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you looked in the back of them bushes, and that leopard was there. That nigga said, "Oi!"
Yeah, nigga tore up.
And then all you saw was the aftermath, man. You seen a leg over there. You know, that leopard fucked that dude up, man.
La verga.
But that's what's gonna happen to these guys, man. It's gonna come out of the blue. It's there's another one, man, where it says, "Vengeance like a lion shall lie in wait for them," man.
Yeah.
You know, but it says, verse 24. It says, "Look that thou hedge thy possession about with thorns, and bind up thy silver and gold." So we got to defend against it. It says, "Bind up or hedge what?" It says, It says, "Look that thou hedge
Possession.
Look that thou hedge thy possession about with thorns, and bind up thy silver and gold." Silver and gold is this knowledge, man.
Yeah, protect it
So we gotta protect it.
at all costs.
How
Guard
do
it
we
with
do
your
that? By being mindful, man. By self-examining, right? Verse 25. "And weigh thy words in a balance, and make a door in a bar for thy mouth. Beware thou slide not by it, lest thou fall before him that lieth in wait," man. So these are all what? Vital wisdom, vital words that we can apply within our lives, man. So that what? So that we can be protected from these things. Because this is what? Us being made in the image of our Lord Yahweh Shah. This is a part of us becoming a new creature, man. These things are not optional.
That's it.
you know?
Right.
Hey, no. These are things these are precepts, which the word precept means a commandment. We are ordered to do these things, man. We can jump to that, James.
I like thinking about precept being like a puzzle piece. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to build a puzzle piece, and there's a situation that you could apply a precept to build that. You know, to build that picture. The picture gonna look fucked up if you decide not to apply that precept, man. You know.
I got one real quick, if I may, just to back up your point you just made. This is Sirach 21:2. "Flee from sin as from the face of a serpent, for if thou comest too near it, it will bite thee. The teeth thereof are as the teeth of a lion slaying the souls of men." You know. So hey man, we gotta be sinning in all aspects. Be mindful of sinning in all aspects, even sinning with our lips, man. Especially sinning with our lips, man.
This is James chapter 3 and verse 3. It says, "Behold, we put bits in the horses' mouths."
You just start at one.
Verse 1, it says, "My brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation."
Right. So what James is telling us is that, look, you got a guy, according to what Yahweh Shah told us in Matthew 7.
Yeah.
He said, "Whatever measure ye meet, it shall be measured unto you again." Right? So you got a guy, y'all do this and do that. You should be on this and that, getting on everybody, man. You know, but yet he's not doing those things within his own walk. There's a greater condemnation to those who are in the leadership positions, who are instructing men to walk a certain way, and they're not doing it themselves. That's what James is telling us here. Right? Go ahead.
"For in many things we offend all. If any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man, and is able to bridle the whole body.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, we put bits in the horses' mouths, that they may obey us, and we turn about their whole body. Behold, also."
Look at the analogy that he's given us, man. You put a bit, this small little thing in a horse mouth, right? That's connected to the reins. That when you pull to the right, it turns the horse right. Controls this little bit controls the whole body.
The horses are powerful animals,
Right? But see, the analogy he's using is that how small that bit is how small our tongue is. So if we're able to bridle the tongue,
Control the body.
we can control the body.
Come
That's why it starts in our spirit and in our speech.
on.
That's it. Mark.
And then that leads to our actions. But see, guys don't bridle their thoughts. Guys don't bridle their speech, which goes to them not bridling their flesh.
Anything else?
You know?
Everything else is undisciplined.
But yet they got their fringes on. They got a big ass beard. They don't eat pork. You see? Go ahead.
Behold also the ships, which though they be so great, and are driven of fierce winds, yet they are turned about with a very small helm, whithersoever the governor listeth.
Showing you how this big ship is steered and moved by the little wheel that it, you know, the steering wheel, you know, like called a helm, right? Go ahead.
Even so the tongue is a little member and boasteth great things. Behold how great a matter a little fire kindleth.
Right. Behold how great a matter a little fire kindleth, man. Going back into the Sirach about what? Spitting on it or blowing on it. Right? Go ahead.
And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body and setteth on fire the course of nature.
And it says what? It defileth the whole body. Anybody still hold that mark? Perfect. Let's finish that precept up.
It says,
No. Let him finish this up.
And setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell.
What's the next verse say?
For every kind of beasts, and of birds, and of serpents, and of things in the sea is tamed, and hath been tamed of mankind. But the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison.
Right. Full of deadly poison. But going back to the Sirach 28, it says what? They that fear the Lord, it shall not have rule over them.
That's right.
It says what? They have not passed through the poison thereof. Or the venom. It said venom thereof, which is synonymous with poison, man. So the fear of the Lord is what allows us to what? Be mindful of these things, to move according to these things, man. Or supposed to, you know? But we can hit that mark.
It says Mark 7:18, and he said unto them, Are ye so without understanding also? Do ye not perceive that whatsoever thing from without entereth into the man, it cannot defile him?
Right. Now, when you read the context, it ain't talking about unlawful creatures, man. It's talking about eating with unwashed hands, right? A Christian to come up and tell you, see, we can eat pork. But here it is. Well, let's read up to get the context. No. But then when we read anywhere else, we're reading the context.
One of the first
Yeah, these the biggest hypocrites walking this earth, man, is fucking Christianity, man. But go ahead.
Verse 19, because it entereth not into his heart, but into the belly, and goeth out into the drought, purging all meats. And he said, that which cometh out of the man, that defileth the man. From within, out of the heart.
So you eating with unwashed hands, you eating your chicken and you didn't wash your hands, that ain't what's finna defile you. But you speaking ill of this man of the Lord who's eating that chicken with unwashed hands, that'll defile you, man.
Damn. God.
Go ahead.
That which cometh out of a man, that defileth the man. It says, for from within, out of the heart of men, proceedeth evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, thieves, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these things come from within and defile the man.
Right? All those things come from the heart. That's why in Jeremiah 17:9 it tells us what? That the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?
Desperately.
So that goes back into what? Not even trusting yourself. I can't trust myself and my own thoughts.
No confidence in the flesh.
That's why in Proverbs 3 it tells us, lean not to your own understanding, but what? But acknowledge the Lord in all thy ways. Let's get that. Proverbs 3 and 5.
Direct that pass.
I got that right here.
I just butchered the hell out of that. Salakia.
This is Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. It says, trust in the Lord with all thy
Start at 1, bro.
Proverbs 3 and 1, it says, my son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments.
Let thy mind keep these words. That's going back to that Deuteronomy the brother read earlier, man. Go ahead.
It says for length of days and long life and peace shall they add unto thee.
What? It said death and life is in the power of the tongue.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So if we speaking, if our spirit is aligned with this book, it has length of life with it, man. Actually, it's eternal life.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Imagine a nigga got a gun to you, whatever. You talking crazy, boom, you dead. Instead of you having that soft answer, it turns away wrath. You know?
Yeah, that actually,
Think about next time.
hey, something similar like that happened to me when I went to Chicago. A guy pulls a gun on me. You know, I just hit him with nice words, man.
I like your shoes, man.
I hit him with an Eagles accent.
Take that.
Like, how you, top of the morning, sir. Motherfucker got a beam right on me and shit. Nigga gave me $20, man.
Con, it says, verse 3 says, let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck. Write them upon the table of thine heart.
And what we're learning right now is mercy and truth, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a precept in John 1. It says, by Moses came the law, but mercy and truth came by Yahweh Shai.
Yep.
That's what the understanding we have right now, man. Right? So it says, don't let it forsake us. So that's applying these things that's being said within these lessons.
Yeah.
Applying these precepts to the best of our ability. Rebuking ourselves, examining ourselves. Right? Go ahead.
It says, so shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of the Most High and man. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths.
Go ahead.
Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil.
That's it, man. You know? So this is what we trust in. Our thought process is according to these precepts. Right? How we think, how we speak is all in line with these precepts. And not just among the brotherhood, among regular people. I'll be at work, regular nigga asks me a certain question. He don't even know I'm answering him according to a precept. You know?
You just saying it instead of in the book of John.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it. And, you know? And like Paul said, I became all things for all men. So I niggerize it. You know, if that's a word. You know?
Yeah, nigga, kick that bitch to the curb. Instead of that Ciroc, if she go not in the way that thou wouldst have her,
you know what I'm
cut
saying?
her off from thy flesh.
Giving them proper reason according to the scriptures, though. You know?
That's why, yo.
Like straight up, man. Because this is not an act. This is who we are.
Yes, sir.
This is who we are. So if we're like that when we're out in the world, how much more are we the same when we amongst the brotherhood?
Right.
Guys be putting on an act. Like a while back, we was going into Superman and Batman. You know, you got guys that are Batman, and you got guys who are Superman. See, Superman is always Superman. When he put on those glasses in that suit,
he's still super.
he's Clark Kent. That's his name, but he's still Superman. If a motherfucker tried to shoot Clark Kent,
They can't shoot him.
nigga, he can't be shot because he's still Superman. But Bruce Wayne is something totally different. You can shoot Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. He don't got that suit on.
If he ain't got that Batman suit on, you know? So that's certain guys, man. We can't be Batman. We got to move in a proper spirit, man. You know, but hey, that's all I had. If y'all brothers got, you know, that's it. Hey, so Lord willing, we hope this was edifying. Thawadi Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, for giving us the spirit to do this lesson. Lord will, once again, we hope it was edifying. Pray Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, put the spirit of obedience and allow us to apply the things we said within this lesson, you know, into the sincere Akim and Akwath, you know, that the Lord put the spirit on y'all,
To apply.
you know, to apply these words, man, to the best of our ability once again. You know, so Lord will hope this is edifying. Thawadi Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. We'll give all praises, honor, glory to
Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Chakodash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, salutations to all you brothers who preaching the gospel in truth and in sincerity, always in charity. Hey, Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.